What's going on, y'all? My name is John Ting. I practice immigration law in the United States to help you secure legal status to live and work in America legally because the government doesn't care. So let's get to it. If you're new to the channel, welcome. You can put the number 1 in the chat box if you're new. And if you have a pending case, if you filed your case and it's processing, and go ahead and put the letter P for pending or processing, put it in the comment section. And if you remember, go ahead and put the month and year that you filed your application. And if you want to, go ahead and put the, if it's I-130 or 485. I'm just going to assume it's for adjustment of status in America to have your interview. Otherwise, if it's I-130 only or something else, go ahead and put that in the comment section, okay? Welcome to the show. So every day, every weekday, I try my best to go live to answer questions. So for no cost to you. Okay. So take advantage of it. I'm going to be here for about 20 to 30 minutes. Okay. Today, I always have to check my calendar and whatnot, make sure I don't miss anything else. So, this is my second job to be here live to answer questions. So, I got a day job. I got to manage my team, make sure that they're doing the right thing for you guys. So, with that being said, if you are interested to take action, well, you got to take action. Look, the fact that YouTube, Facebook, TikTok has shown you this video, my live show, especially if you're a first timer, again, welcome. That means the app knows that you likely have an immigration case or that you're thinking to sponsor someone. Maybe they know that you have someone that wants to sponsor you. Maybe you got a Pookie Bear, maybe your company, who knows? So take the time, the opportunity to ask a question, even if you don't really think you have a question. You're like, it's not that big a deal. It's okay. Every question is important to me. I'm happy to help. Okay. Don't be shy because KB200 769, we're in Houston, Texas. Our main office is in Houston. I used to be in Dallas, so I have a lot of colleagues up there as well. I have immigrant. We have a network. So by the way, if I'm in Houston, we do travel for interviews, USCIS interviews, for court hearings if needed. But at the end of the day, of course, because that does cost extra money, right, for travel and one night hotel. But if you're like, man, John, I really want you to handle the case, with our team at Green Card Guys, but what about the interview? Who's going to help with that? Because I live in Alaska or something. I actually know some attorneys in Alaska, believe it or not. She actually ran for Congress a few years ago. Maybe, yeah. So, anyways, so I have a network of attorneys, okay, who I can depend on to cover for your hearing with court or at USCIS. So we can help you with that. And let's see here. There's at least 4, as more questions roll in eventually, there's at least 4 scenarios where we can help you, even if you filed your case already, okay? Because some people are always wondering, usually ask, well, when do you need to talk to a lawyer, right? Some of you don't know when. So, I mean, ideally before you file your case, but okay, let's say you filed your case already because, budget reasons, or you think you know it all good. Okay. So I don't know it all for plumbing or anything. So I pay for a professional plumber. I'm not going to mess with that stuff. So here's the thing. Number 1, when you get a request for evidence, online blogs and you're searching, you could type in RFE, request for evidence. You have about 84 to 87 days to reply to that. You might think, oh, about 3 months? That's plenty of time, John. What are you talking about? Well, the timing and deadline is one thing. First of all, look, if you're still going to do this yourself, put it on your fucking calendar. Okay. Sorry. I try not to curse, but it comes to my day job. Some people fuck up their own case. Just going to be honest with you. I mean, I know this because people have meetings with us, and I'm not going to go and share in too much detail, but people mess up their case. One of the simple ways that people mess up their case is they don't remember that they need to respond to the RFE. Bless their hearts. Or some people think, oh, they said RFE, like they don't even know how important it is. And so they know about it, but they don't respond because they think, oh, nah, the evidence already provided. It's the kitchen sink. It's fine. It's plenty of information. What else do they need? And then they receive the denial letter a few weeks later. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? So I'm not trying to give y'all a hard time. That's why I'm here to share these different scenarios, a long list of immigration problems, so you don't make that silly mistake of like, oh, it's fine, no big deal. You know, please know that everything I share is based on experience. This is not fear mongering. I'm not like the Cheeto, okay? Not that guy or the Stephen Miller dude. So, which actually Stephen Miller probably needs to get a tan, huh? I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know. Oh, that's my fault. I shouldn't comment on people's looks. But anyway, hey, what's up, Jamavis and Dorji? Dorje? Did you have a different name on YouTube? Okay, so welcome. Again, I go live almost every day when I can. Like I couldn't go live during the day yesterday because I had a USCIS interview. I posted about it last night a little portion about it. Um, but so I went live last night instead. So I really try to get out there. But here's the thing: if you're new to your channel, go ahead and click the plus sign or subscribe, follow. So just in case, because again, you never know when you might have that one question and you're just like, you know what, you finally need to ask a question. And a lot of, I don't want to take, I hope other attorneys who are, watching don't take this the wrong way, but there are some situations where you don't really need to have like a full on 30-minute, 1 hour like consultation. We call it strategy session. It's just that one question. Which, by the way, I think it's kind of like a pet peeve. Oh, the G here, that's right, on YouTube. Um, y'all might have some quick questions, but usually, as you can tell here, lawyers have always a lot to say. Usually, um, so our responses are fairly detailed usually. But TikTok, I try to make it quick. Okay, so let me see here. That first thing was RFE. That's one scenario to talk to a lawyer for sure. I'll share a couple more as we go through here. Alec Khan, welcome back. I think you were live last night. Marriage-based green card. Can they live in two separate households while married? Oh boy, boy, boy. Yeah, you probably need a lawyer. um, so I mean, we've had some clients where they were living separately, and of course, although we don't recommend that, it is possible to still get residency while living separately. You better get your story straight, and you still better get even more documentation about your marriage. Let's put it this way: at the very least, if you're going to be living separately, it's like you might as well live in different cities. And I don't mean like neighboring cities because it's going to be really suspect if you live in like 20 minutes away. Like the way I provide information here, guidance and advice to our clients. I don't want to act like an ICE agent, right? Or those bounty hunters, whatever. But um, we are thoughtful in the way that we prepare clients, meaning we're pretty detailed. Okay. So detailed that our clients are like, oh, John, another question. Well, yeah, of course. That's why you hired us. We want to make sure that you get all the bad questions, the worst questions possible. Um, you just never know. All right. So, for example, if you're living separately, so Alakan, do you guys like how far guys do you live? Like thousands of miles away, or is it just assuming that your spouse Pookie Bird lives in America as well as you? But some people live in different homes or whatnot because of the work, the job, the maybe the specific training needed or a person got specific training that leads to a specific type of job, and that job is in a different state. Like that's more understandable. But if it's like, oh, I just signed the lease. Well, fucking break the lease. Like, okay, like, or your company paid, like, signed a lease for you. That's wonderful. USCIS doesn't fucking care. Okay, like, like, especially if you live in the same region. Like Houston is pretty large, right? And there's a lot of suburbs. But if you're like, y'all in Houston know this, but If you like live in Sugarland and one person lives in Richmond, they're neighboring towns. Like that, that's not gonna fly with USCIS. And so there are some financial decisions to make if you like still have a lease, or maybe you don't break your lease. But that's kind of suspect, you know what I mean? Like, because if you don't break your lease, it's kind of like saying, and you live in the same area, it's kind of, and you're married, that's like saying, officer, I don't really know if I'm committed to my relation. That's what it tells me if I'm an officer. So just think about that, okay? But those are the kind of questions that you can see. I just talked about that a lot in 5 minutes, pretty detailed. So I do recommend to schedule a meeting, okay, Alakan? That's not really more of a TikTok type question. 6 months? Okay, yeah. It's for a friend financial. Yeah, see, I mean, tell your friend to schedule a meeting then, because it's not even yours. Do I have IG dot? Yes, I do. You know, thanks for reminding me. I don't know why. It's like IG is the stepchild. I don't really. Oh, oops, sorry. We love stepchildren as well. I need to open that up. Yeah, my IG handle is at green card guys. I think the only thing different in any of my handles, the YouTube is at green card guys underscore TV, something like that. But please know if you happen to see other green card guys channels that's not like you, hopefully you can tell it's me or not. Let me know because those would likely be spam or what do you call that? Scam accounts. So just be careful of that. Like one of my friends, oh damn it. See, IG, I just try to post. There we go. Jamavis, you're in spring? Okay, yeah, exactly. So spring, what is that like? 30 minutes from there's always that there's certain cities that are like you're 30 minutes away from another suburb. Traffic, man. Traffic's horrible. Jamevis, do we help with bond requests for detainees? Yes, we do. Now, please know we do handle limited removal cases. Out of any, we help with a lot of different types of applications, cases, but the one that we're even more in tune in terms of screening um, is the removal cases, is the request for bond. Okay, because I for one thing is I've heard of other attorneys and people say like they review it like they're only eligible for voluntary departure, for example, and we tend not to accept those cases unless maybe there is a petition that we can file or petition pending, I-130, for example. We just don't want you to waste your money. Okay, essentially. But we can provide some guidance. And the best thing to do in that situation, if you want some kind of guidance specific for your case, is schedule a meeting strategy session for that scenario. Okay, which for y'all YouTubers and Facebook, that's what it looks like right there. Okay, let's see. By the way, if you're on Facebook and YouTube and you want to join the live show, email that right there. And if you think you type in live show, I'll maybe automatic email back to you. And if you're on TikTok, I think you join right here. Is that right? What's up, 41 MJ? And by the way, we have clients on these platforms too, right? Of course, because some of you on these platforms end up authorizing our team to help you, or we appreciate it. And so someone last night asked me like, "Is that my direct number right here?" And it's not. It's my office. It's my team. A lot of things I can get done for y'all's status, your application is like for me to delegate. Actually, that was my topic for a organization I spoke with yesterday, is like how I grew from myself, one true solo myself. So if you have a business, you in operations or you're a company, then you understand this. Like, so if you're considering a lawyer, no offense to some attorneys, like it's difficult. Imagine like I did a behind the scenes video when I was at the airport. Like it's a lot to do. Like clients want answers, right? Understandably. Hopefully y'all are reasonable and give us at least 24 hours at least. Our policy is 24 to 40 hours reply, by the way, which some of you think like, oh yeah, that seems reasonable. Well, like, why do you have to even state that, John? It's because some attorneys, some law firms don't even reply at all. even after a week or 2 weeks. So you're like, what the WTF? Like, this is crazy. I agree. That's why we have to state these out loud. By the way, TikTok hides some comments, and some after that temporary ban on TikTok in January, sometimes I hide comments that I can't even see anymore, but some I can. All right. By the way, I try my best to go in order I receive them. 41 MJ, you're a client of ours. And by the way, sometimes I have to like guess what y'all's names are by your username. Do I advise that you do a mandamus if you've been waiting for a year and 4 months for your wife's appointment in Abu Dhabi? Okay, I think I know you are. A year and 4 months. Is it a year and 4 months after being DQ'd? After been receiving the email documentary complete or DQ? So, by the way, there are a lot of different scenarios where we can file mandamus lawsuit that that you may not have been aware of. Okay, so yeah, a year and 4 months for sure. I mean, at minimum, we check at a year after DQ. Okay, and so some people are like, "Oh, I've heard about mandamus lawsuit, but like, will they deny my case or will they refuse visa if we file a lawsuit?" Every single one of the U.S. attorneys I've talked to don't give a shit about your actual application, in the sense that they don't care about the facts of like the actual application. Okay. What they do is to facilitate. Okay. They're like, if I were a U.S. attorney, I'd be more like, and I get the sentiment, like, because we're professionals, right? Like we're collegial. I'm very fortunate that every single U.S. attorney I've talked to, they've been very collegial. It's much different than Department of Homeland Security attorneys, who also some are maintain professionalism, some not so much. Okay, but U.S. attorneys, they want to help facilitate to get it to the next step for us. Okay, so what usually happens is that they contact the liaison of the department of the agency, and that's usually posted up in Washington D.C. So Washington D.C. is like their hub in a sense. Okay, and so they do a really good job to facilitate. Now, it doesn't mean like, oh, they can give us a response in like a day. Unfortunately, not. Okay. It does take some time, but they're fairly quick in the sense of the legal industry quick. Okay. Um, but no, they could still refuse a visa. They could still deny an application, but not because you sue the government. Okay. And we have a complimentary guide about that, and I think that could be in our LNK if you go to the BIO. What's up, Jordan Frias? Good to see you. Do we help with SIJ cases, special immigrant juvenile visa? Yes, we do. You do need to get a family court order, so we can refer you to certain attorneys depending where you're located. So we have a network, because I'm in different groups with attorneys. Um, we have a network inherently. I always try to meet a couple of almost one or two attorneys a day, new attorneys, and like, if you network for your own job, it's good to, what do you call, like, reconnect with others, right? In a sense, because the thing is, I want to make sure that if you need a referral, I can't promise the outcome, right? Like, we can't promise. We're ethically not allowed to promise outcomes. We can tell you based on experience what likely will happen, right? But when we make referrals, share referrals with you, please let us know how that went for you, okay? Because we want to know, like, did they even answer the phone? Did they do the basics, right? Because they didn't answer the phone or call you back within a week. That's pretty bad if it's a week. But let us know, please, because we want to take them off our list. Which, by the way, if you do need a referral, you can DM or just email in. Happy to help. So save you some Google searching time. And of course, when you conduct your own due diligence of attorneys, whether we refer them to you or not, please, for the love of God, read the Google reviews, because y'all are reading these Google reviews for restaurants. I mean, come on. Please tell me, how much time do you use? Hey, Pookie Bear. Hey, honey, which restaurant you want to go to? and clock is ticking. You're like, what the hell? 30 minutes later, have you found a restaurant? Come on. You should do the same thing for attorneys then, law firms. Rocks GS1. When does unlawful presence start after I-20 termination? Well, you usually have a 60-day grace period from non-immigrant visa to non-immigrant visa. So definitely after 60-day grace period, then you start clicking the clock is ticking for the unlawful presence. Which, by the way, technically you have, if you're trying to change non-immigrant status to non-immigrant status, then you have less than 6 days grace period, right? But you have up to, if you decide like, oh, damn it, I couldn't change the status, then you have up to 180 days of unlawful presence to where when you leave, it doesn't affect you. But if you have between 180 days, there's still effect, but between 180 days to 365 days of unlawful presence, and then you leave, or 364 days, then it's a 3-year bar. If you live in America without legal status or overstay your visa for more than 365 days or more, and then you leave somehow for whatever reason, I know a lot of people who do leave. It's been a thoughtful process, and it's usually because people tell us after the fact, right? That they have to go see their parent that's ill on deathbed. Unfortunately, I understand that. That's a difficult decision, but you have to know that when you leave and you've been living in America for a year or more, then that triggers the 10-year bar. Okay. Depending on the situation, you could file a waiver, but it's not like there's no easy button. These waivers take a long time. Okay, let's see. All right, I think someone wants to join live. Okay. Selezi? If you want to join live, TikTok, you do it right here.
Hello.
Hello, how are you? Welcome to the show. I'm here. What's up?
Yeah. Good afternoon.
How can I help you?
Yeah. My case is coming up on the 14th of next month, and I don't know, my lawyer. Is it possible for a judge not to send your case wherever you want the case to go? Is that possible?
Yes, it is possible for a judge to
Refuse?
Yes, did they provide a reason on the order?
No, my lawyer didn't tell me anything. Why the judge refused to transfer my case to where I am?
Well, did your lawyer provide you a copy of the court order?
No, he didn't.
Okay, just ask. Just email and ask for it. That's what we do.
Yeah. Because now my master hearing is coming up, and the lawyer is not saying anything. I've been writing him, he's just like quiet. So I don't know what's really going on. I'm just like frustrated.
Yeah, for sure. When I lean back like this in my chair, that's usually my frustration stance. Here's what you got to do. Okay, here's the action plan. Ask your lawyer for a fucking copy of that order, politely, of course. But anytime we get a decision from a judge, positive or negative, we provide the client a copy of the order, because we know that clients are going to ask questions. We totally understand. So, but how do you know this? How do you know that it was denied? Was it because they called you to tell you, or you saw online?
No, because I cannot, when I go online, I can't see my case. Like when I call, I can't see my case. So they said it's only my attorney that can see it. I don't know how that is possible, because when I call the normal line that people usually call to hear their court date and everything, I can't hear my own.
Okay.
But when the lawyer checked, they said what he told me was that there are some cases like that when you go online, you can't really see it. You can't really see when the court date is, but the attorney can access it. Is that really true?
There's two different types of databases. There's one for attorneys that are able to file the documents online, which is not for every case. Okay, that part is true. Because if your case is old, like your NTA document, the 1-2 pager, notice to appear. If it's several years ago, it might not be have included for online filing. We call it ECAS. That's different though. There's another database, is really just a website where anyone can, you put in your, input your A number, alien number.
Yes, I have done that. I put in my A number. They are telling me they can't tell me anything apart of my antennae. So I don't know what's going on. But and my case is not too. It's not an old case. My case was my asylum case was filed in 2023.
Okay, well,
so I don't know why
if you email in, and if you're okay to share the A number, like if you email us your A number, we'll check. I mean, it sounds strange that it doesn't show up anything. It's got to at least show up a court date or something, okay? But
yeah.
in the meantime, okay, email us. So if you click on my profile, right, and where my picture is, there's an icon that looks like this. Or you know what? You can go to this, right? Or you can go to askjohnting.com. I forgot that I just created this yesterday after all these years.
Okay.
That's a new website. Okay. It's going to give you a couple options. You'll see like right over here, like an email option. Okay. Or you can call in, but if it's easier for you to email, just ask for the court website. That's all you have to write. You don't have to write any words. Like just put court website. I'm just trying to make it easy for y'all. And then give us the A number if you want to, and we'll check if it shows up. We'll do a screenshot. Okay.
Okay. And then there's this question I wanted to ask, because I discussed with the lawyer the last time I discussed with him. He told me that because I was telling him that they should struggle, because I was in another state. I was in Massachusetts by then when I wanted to transfer that case. So the judge refused to send it there. So now I'm in Ohio, and I have driver license here. So what he asked me was, do you have a driver license here? I said yes. Do you have a job here? I said yes. So he said, okay, he would try to like send it here. So what I was asking is that in this short period of time before the 14th of next month, can the lawyer fight to change my case to Columbus, to Ohio, Columbus, and the judge will send it here before my master hearing so that I don't go for that master hearing? Is it possible?
It is possible to not need to go to your master hearing. So now, first of all, if it's really true that your attorney did file that motion to change a location, we call it change venue. Okay. Then it's like, okay, well, how do you get the case dismissed? Did you mention that you had a petition filed? Any application filed?
No, he has filed for my asylum.
Asylum, okay.
Next month I'm going for my master hearings.
Did you have an asylum interview with the USCIS field office before?
Yes, I had it before. My case was first of all in Puerto Rico.
Yeah. So when you already had an asylum interview by USCIS, and then you go to court, you can't go back to USCIS. It's going to stay in the court. So yeah, you actually can't get yours dismissed. I mean, it doesn't mean you can't try, but usually when we file motions dismissed for asylum in this kind of situation, that we ask those questions, right? Like we call it defensive asylum. If it started in court, then we could try to get the case dismissed and then say, we're going to file the application to USCIS now. But yours already started.
What I'm talking is that can they send my case? Can they remove government? The case is in Texas.
Okay.
So can they transfer a change of address to Columbus before the 14th of next month,
July,
so that I don't go for the
master. Yeah, I mean, it's possible, but that's what I mean. You need to ask your lawyer for a copy of the motion, because it may seem strange, but you cannot assume that your attorney did it. It's strange for me to say that, right, y'all? I'm an attorney, but we have Dropbox folders. Some clients, some current clients, some past clients are on the channels right now. They know this. Like, we share a Dropbox folder literally on day one. Like, the moment a client pays, our team is on it to onboard a client. So if you don't even have a folder, that's suspect. Okay. I'm not saying your attorney has not done anything, but it's okay to ask questions because you're a paying client, I'm assuming,
Yeah.
right? So ask them. Even it doesn't have to, you don't have to talk directly to a lawyer because lawyers are busy. I get it, right? So, but ask the assistant. I'm hoping they have an assistant. God bless those attorneys who don't have an assistant at all. But like, like ask them for a copy. You are the client. You are entitled to a copy of your file. Okay, because what we
Okay.
do in our motion, um, look, for example, like my attorney friends, like if a client moves from New Jersey to Texas, for example, I have a we're in a network, so we trust each other. If it was like my own case, I would trust my attorney friend to help my case, right? So they refer cases to us, we refer cases to them for the benefit of the client. Like, yo, you moving to Texas or you moving to New Jersey? Here's an attorney. Here's a couple, right? Talk to them, see if you like them. But if your attorney is not like me, to be honest, I mean, we think more the merrier. We'll love to share information, etc., contacts. But if your attorney doesn't mention anything like that, then maybe they're just trying to keep your case in Texas for a reason, so they can still earn money on your case. I don't know. Just food for thought.
Oh my
Okay. So you need to ask for the motion. What did you file, attorney? What did your office file, assistant? You know, get a copy of it because once you ask for it and and it's like crickets on the phone or email, then you know what's up. Okay. Then you need
Okay.
you know you need to file a new one or get a new attorney. And so it's a mind. One more thing, sorry. Um, for a lot of y'all too, it's a mindset thing. It's kind of like, I paid for a concert tickets to go with my wife, right? And I have two little kids, and then we're like, look at our schedule, like, oh, and we're so tired, like we paid, I don't know, $100 for this or something. It's like, damn it, you already spent the money. You can't get a refund. So, it's just consider it lost. You just got to move forward, especially when you have a court case. Okay, you got a deadline,
Oh my God.
essentially,
And
right?
there
So,
is this question to please. I wanted to ask: is it a must that you must send a soft copy for your affidavits and a hard copy, like the affidavits from my country? Do I have to send the hard copy and the soft copy to the lawyer when I'm going for the master hearing?
what do you mean soft copy? Because when I hear hard or
Like
soft, I think online or printed.
like the PDF, like
Uh huh.
the one in the PDF. That's what I call for soft copy,
Hmm.
and the hard copy, like from my country. Is it necessary?
Oh, like a certified copy. Okay.
Yeah.
No, usually the copy it's a copy itself, like a photocopy, as long as preferably there's some kind of seal on the document, then that's fine. Okay, for court.
Okay. So if they don't send the hard copy from my country,
Uh-huh.
is it a problem?
No, as long as you get an email to you and have some kind of seal or certified. Okay, so the court or judge or USCIS, they know it's real. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds like you got more questions. So we're happy to help, but I can't do that on TikTok because a lot
I
of people
know,
are,
I
a lot of
know.
people got questions.
I will call you. I have your number. I will call
Okay.
you so that I can book an appointment to really like get help and maybe have you as an attorney,
Okay.
because it's really frustrating.
Yeah. Well, we're happy to take action for you if you need it. Okay. Wish you the best.
All right.
All right.
All
Take
right.
care.
Thank you so much. I do appreciate.
You're welcome. Take care. S- Sounds like she's at the park enjoying her life. I would love to be at the park doing a live show. All right. Let's get Frank on. Okay. I'm going to invite a couple more people because you've joined and just put yourself on mute. Others. What's going on, Frank?
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thank
Can you
you.
hear me?
Yes, sir. How can I help you?
Perfect. My wife and I got married in Kiev. When I was in Kiev, I had uploaded all of my documents to the USCIS, and I received a I-797 notice of action that the I-130 was approved. During the time the war was just getting started, and the embassy, while they were still open, they issued an emergency B1, B2 visa with a 10-year, lifespan on it. So we were able to get out of the country, get into America, and since then we've been going through the change of status process. We've gone through the surgeon. We've gone through the biometrics. We just had our interview on April 3rd. And the interview was kind of an odd interview because we were expecting show me a picture, show me that.
Mm-hmm.
And it really didn't go that way. And then our case was held for review. We haven't gotten any further notice. I go online, it says it's still being reviewed. So I'm just trying to understand what I'm looking at. We just have to wait this thing out. What are your thoughts?
Sure. Thanks for the questions, Frank. It must be frustrating. Did you or she receive a 221G document after the interview?
No. Well,
Okay.
Let me look at this document. It's just this was something that was hand delivered at the interview. It was regarding her I-485.
Okay.
And it just says interview results.
Oh, okay. Adjustment of status. So you're in the States. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So not 221G. That's for people abroad. When was the 485 interview?
That was on April 3rd of 2025.
Okay, about a couple months ago by now, 60 days. So, and when did you file the 485 to begin with, the month and year to start off?
Let's see, bear with me a second. 45, CI 693. It was, gosh, I don't have it in front of me.
That's okay.
I have to log in.
Probably maybe sometime last year, maybe 2024.
I would say like May of last year.
Okay.
Like April or May of last year.
Okay, the reason I asked because we basically have a chart of when to sue the government, and so because for example, I just had an interview yesterday in Houston, and for some people they're like the officer would just tell me right up front, right there when I ask a specific question, they'll tell me okay, approved, but some people like he didn't, like one officer yesterday, he didn't say it right there in the room, but when we're walking out the hallway, then he said, yeah, you guys approved. So I was like, okay. And then online status this morning showed approved. I'm not saying that it is always like that, but by now, it's been 2 months and you filed.
I'm looking at the, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine. Yeah, go ahead.
I was looking at the I-693 and
yeah, medical exam. Mm-hmm.
Right, exactly. And this is dated March 19th of 2024. So it was we probably filed the original document like in January of that year.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Let's see this. Yeah. So because the biometrics was dated March 9th of 2024.
Okay. Yeah. And biometric that's usually at least a month after you filed the case. Okay. So yeah, February, maybe January, February, 2024.
Like
so now just tracking it, then it would say that's a year and 5-6 months. So yeah, we filed, the minimum is 15 months to file a lawsuit for this kind of case, 485. And it'd be different. It was like, if you asked me like a month ago or 2 months ago, I'd say, let's wait a little bit. So you're welcome to learn more information about Mandamus lawsuit. And just make sure, to schedule a meeting to learn more about it. And we have a free guide, just download it or click it on my link, but with some common questions, but what's it called? I think you may have stated this, but at the interview or right after, did you receive any document or letter saying they need more evidence? I don't think
actually
so.
Not. And
okay.
The letter we did get was like a copy of the interview, the hand-delivered interview. And it just says that they checked off the top box and it says your case is being held for review.
Mm-hmm.
At this time, UCIS does not require any further information or documents from you. Should further information or documents be required, you will receive a notice in the mail.
Okay.
We also may schedule you. We may also schedule you for another interview. You will receive a notice in the mail. Otherwise, a final decision will be mailed once your case is complete. And what's perplexing about this is that, you know, the government in Kyiv already reviewed and approved us for an I-130. We're legally married. Hello.
Yes.
She's been in the country for over 3 years.
Right.
This December is our 4th wedding anniversary. To me, this is like a no-brainer. Give me the green card so she can get a social security number so I can go ahead and get her a driver's license, put her on my bank accounts. It's like, oh my God.
Frank, I wish there was an easy button. That's why I have this magic wand I stole from my daughter. I wish. And our quote unquote easy button at this point is the Mandamus lawsuit. Unfortunately, there are, you know, like you said, you're almost coming up on your 4th anniversary. That's amazing. Congrats to y'all. But it's time. Yeah, it's time that these kind of Mandamus lawsuit we file almost every day. And you may have heard earlier a bit ago that U.S. attorneys don't mind. They like to help. Is it their favorite case? No, because it's kind of annoying. They're like, why is USCIS taking a long time? It shouldn't be that case, because everyone knows, like, it should be for many people, it's a straightforward case in a sense, right? But it's like their workflow. It's like a broken step in their process, unfortunately. So, but
and what was really perplexing too is that the interviewer, his accent was so heavy that my wife and I both had to look at his lips when he was talking. I mean, I think he came somewhere from Africa. I was recognizing the accent, and it was so thick. And just going, do you understand what I'm saying? I was right. I didn't want to.
It's like actually, no, I need a.
Dude, I'm having trouble understanding myself. and English is like her 3rd language. It's Russian, Ukrainian, and English. And her English is good. She understood everything. But the final crux was like, are you going to participate in polygamy? And she goes, no. And he goes, do you know what polygamy means? And she's like, it doesn't mean this. And she got the definition wrong. Well, did you understand anything else I said? And she goes, yes, I did. But polygamy? Really?
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, is that typical for interviewers to get into the weeds on stuff like that?
Yeah, mine yesterday was a bit too much into the weeds. And that's why, like, you know, in certain situations like that, if I were there, I'd be like, I could explain for the officer, right? So they don't get all like testy, you know, in a sense.
Right.
Like it's like walking on eggshells for no reason. This commenter on YouTube said these officers need Dr. Phil. I don't know, maybe a different therapist.
I didn't want to ask for a supervisor or do anything out of the ordinary. To me, you know, given our circumstances, you know, I mean, she's perfectly qualified, has 2 degrees, you know, graduate degrees, and it's like we just need. She wants to go to work, she wants to continue her schooling, and it's like this thing is just holding everything up. So when I saw you, I thought, okay, to ask you the question, yeah, maybe just wait. It's going to be a couple more months or something, but just wanted to know if I had any options.
Yeah, I mean, for now, the traditional way before the last couple of presidencies, administration, you could submit an inquiry in a much earlier, like within a year or so. But now they pushed it back so far that when you look if you go to one of my YouTube videos, maybe you know how to do it now, you could go to USCIS tools and resources, and they have an option to try to submit inquiry, but you got to put in your receipt date. You know, maybe it's January, February 2024. And it'll tell you, oh, too early. You got to wait another, you know, until, let's say, December 2026 or December 2025 to submit the inquiry. It's frustrating, but they do that on purpose because they're trying to reduce the customer service contact, essentially.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Like, and you go online and suddenly, you know, if you press 0 again, we're going to disconnect you. Just trying to get an answer.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So at this point, I don't want to have spend the money to file additional things like, she needs a social security number. She needs either a work permit or something to be able to kind of move on so she can get a driver's license. Because right now I'm the only one with a driver's license, and if something happens, she's got Uber.
Yeah, it's a strategy call. Like normally, last year's when they started the extra fee for the work permit, and the travel permission card, essentially. But at this point, if you're going to spend money on the government fee to do that, and you're waiting anyway for the decision of 45, because you file a 765 now, that could take another 6 months anyway. It's not a quick thing again. So you might as well file the Mandamus lawsuit, although that does cost more. But that's something to consider. Take your time on it. I'm not here to rush anyone, but I just want to share information. So try to go to askjohnting.com, and there might be a complimentary guide about mandamus or case delays. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Frank. Good luck. Let's see. Tony on YouTube asked any thoughts on what maybe they don't like about their case. It might not be anything. It might not be anything wrong with their case. Usually not. It's just more about there's like a missing step for some of the people's cases on their workflow. We're very fortunate. Like the interview I had yesterday, I was a little concerned that I was like, okay, are they going to make us wait a week or two? Which is also still reasonable, but fortunately, interview yesterday and then this morning, case approved. So you just never know. Okay, let's get Immanuel. What's going on?
Are you hearing me, John?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good day. Thank you for your time.
Sure.
I wanted to ask a quick question. So my fiance, she came on a J1 visa. She's not subject to the 2-year rule, and we wanted to see what is your thought on the 90-day rule? Some people say it's a myth. Some people say it's true. Some people say wait until 60 days after. So I'm not sure.
Okay, 60 days after. I'm sorry, can you remind me which application?
Adjustment of status. Like we want to get married.
Okay.
But when she came here, her intent changed.
Yeah, you get you're subject to the 2 years, the J1, 2 years. Oh, not okay. Well, that's good. There's no restriction. So I'm sorry, you're saying wait. How long to wait to get married, or wait to file? Okay. How long is this for you, or asking for a friend?
No, it's me.
Okay. And when did you enter America?
May 1st, 2025.
Yeah, I mean, there's no black and white rule, but y'all know, or y'all should know, that the Trump administration is cracking down on certain things. In this situation, intent. Like, what was your intent at the time of entry? Was your intent to get married? Which, by the way, are you married already?
No, we're not married as yet.
Okay. So you may enter in May. I will wait a little bit. Some people are a little bit excited to get married. I get that. You can start living together, but I would wait. So that's the kind of like legal advice that we provide our clients. That I know it might sound strange, but intent at the time of entry is very important to the Trump administration right now. From president to president administration, it can change. So, someone named Drew on TikTok also recommended wait at least 90 days. I would say at the minimum, wait 90 days. Okay. But in the meantime, you can gather some evidence, like maybe start a bank account together, that's very important. Start moving some bills to be paid by that bank account or credit card. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care. All right. So I don't know why. I thought I heard her say something about J1 or 212 or something. Okay. So anyways, there's a lot of different scenarios. Let's see here. Thanks for everyone that joined live and asked questions here on the chat box as well. So by the way, when I get on a roll of answering questions live, it does make it difficult for me to answer questions on the chat box that's on TikTok. But I'll try. Let me see. And whoever's new here, you might not know this, but I can see when you copy and paste your questions. And when you do that, I can understand why y'all do that, but don't do it. Because when you do that on TikTok, it scrolls up everyone else's question, and that's fucked up. So don't fucking do it. Okay? That's a little housekeeping. Because TikTok doesn't. It would be nice if I say, "Hey, I want to look at Faith's question," and it'll just pull it up, but it doesn't. All right, so let's see here. Well, now that I mentioned Faith, let me just go ahead and answer Faith's question. Is there a visa of a citizen child that has a health condition for parents? Oh, if like the parents' health is not good, I guess you could say. Um, some people have tried humanitarian visa if the parent or person has to be a patient at a specific hospital. Like let's say for example in Houston we have MD Anderson Cancer Hospital. Like there's a very specific reason or specific hospital to get treatment at. But if it's just saying in general, this is a bad example, but like my parents are coming here because they have a certain condition, but they don't have what do you call like something set up like treatment plan or surgery with that specific clinic or hospital, then it's likely not even going to work at all. So just some thoughts on that. Humera. I don't remember your spouse's prior date, of course, but right now it advanced several months for F2A, fortunately, in the July visa bulletin, and now it's at there we go. Now on YouTube, I'm sharing it at least. Now it's at F2A September 2022. So Humera, does that help your spouse? I don't remember. But either way, Humera, I think if I remember your situation, your petition's still pending. It's not even so much the visa bulletin, if I recall correctly. Right? So and your spouse is abroad, so that's why I rely on chart A. Keep me updated on that, okay? Nachi, I was trying to get you on earlier. What happened? Let's see. Sometimes, like when I add too many people, it like doesn't let some people in. I think. Nachi has good news. Are you the one that needed get some documents?
Hello.
What's up, Nachi?
Hang on.
Yes. What's up? Yes, I can hear it. Well, not anymore, I guess. You're still there though. Hello.
I have good news.
What is it?
Remember the case I told you about Baghdad?
Oh yes, the consulate.
Yeah. So they got approved, and we're going to interview on July 27th.
July 20. Which embassy?
Baghdad.
Oh, in Baghdad. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
I was surprised it's still open, but knock on wood, it is.
Yeah, that's good.
So my question is, what should I take with me to get prepared?
That it's a lot of things. I don't have like the checklist and things like that. Do you have a lawyer for this part?
So they gave me a checklist, but they don't talk about like what kind of work I do or how much money I make or who's my sponsor,
Well, you likely already provided that information. When you did you upload an 864 form in the portal maybe a year ago or so? Do you remember doing that?
I just submitted a DS-160.
DS-160 or DS-260?
I think it's 160 or 260, one of those.
Well, this is for a spouse, right?
Yeah.
Okay, 260. But even before, around that time when you completed that DS-260 is when you would have uploaded like the financial documents in 864. which is all necessary to get the interview date. You probably don't
So
remember, but that's okay.
They never told me I have to fill out that form, so I just went based off what they told me, you know.
Okay,
I thought I
well,
had to
well, here's
fill
an
out a form,
Mhm.
I-134 form, which is financial, but they told me no.
Yeah, so the 134 is for fiancé pathway, but you're married, so and you filed the I-130 to start the whole thing to begin with, right?
I'm not married yet. It's just for fiance.
Okay, so you're a fiancé, yeah. So it's a completely different process, fiancé. Okay, so yeah, so then it's the DS 160 for that. It because your question now is more legal advice. I mean, a lot of things are advice, but I'm supposed to tell you this legal information. Um, but yeah, you may need a scheduled meeting for the like more that kind of information. Okay, so because now you're not really stuck. You got it moving. You got an interview. So now it's just already.
But I want to like get everything ready
Absolutely.
before the interview, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Now you got to schedule a meeting because you may want to consider to hire a lawyer now. Now that you got the interview set, okay? Because we have, for example, for our clients, we have like not just a checklist, but like a video prep, meeting with an attorney, things like that. Like that's our package in a sense at this stage, even though you started it on your own, but now we got to finish it off, right? And even the interview in Baghdad is just one thing. That's another phase of the journey. And then when your fiance enters, I think you know this, but that you need to get married within 90 days. And you would think people remember, but we're there to call people, remind them, hey, you got to get married. And then because after that, you get married, then we got to file the next phase for the adjustment of status for the residency. Okay. So, yeah, we're happy to help. You don't need a lawyer, but it sounds like you need a lawyer. So based on your questions. Yeah. All right. All right. Thanks, Nachi. Thanks for sharing the good news. That embassy is still open.
Appreciate you.
Okay. Bye-bye. All right. All right. So, I'm trying my best to, share as much information as possible, but in certain situations, I gotta draw a line, as politely as possible. By the way, for anyone that lives in the Middle East, I feel for y'all. Or if you're in the U.S. and you have family members there, fiance, this is crazy times with what the hell America and Israel is doing. Look, I mean, if you're Israeli, I hope you don't take offense to this, but Israel needs to fucking stop what they're doing. Okay, that's fucking crazy. It's nuts. When I went to college, I took a political science class and learned about genocide. And it's quite sad that college is when I learned more about genocide. Like, I didn't pay attention to that I'm pretty sure I didn't really pay attention to that as a high school student. Like, now that I know a lot more as an adult, we need to take action to tell our country, your respective country, the things that they should do or not do. And these are some basic things. Like, don't like. Oh, anyway, it's crazy. Okay, let's get a couple of more people. We got Tin Claudio, and then on deck after Tin Claudio is Zishan Khalid. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay, we got a couple.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. You? How are you?
Good.
I'd like to ask about filing because my husband is a U.S. citizen, and we're confused about whether we file the I-130 or just go with the 485.
Great question. I need to create a chart for you guys. I don't have my dry erase board right now. But basically, you're married, right? To a
Yes.
and it sounds like you're the U.S. citizen, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I-130 is like the foundation.
Okay.
It's step number one. Okay. I-130
Okay.
is for, they want to review the evidence of the marriage, like financial
Okay.
accounts, could be check account statement or, and credit card statement. You don't need a credit card statement, but I think it's helpful. And does your spouse
Okay.
live in America?
Yes.
Did he enter with a visa?
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
Sorry, did he enter with a visa or parole?
Yeah, my husband
Yes.
or me? My husband.
Whoever is the immigrant. Now are you?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, enter with a visa?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then your spouse can apply for everything here in America, all right, including the 485. So I'm glad you asked this because there are some people that only file the I-130 when they could have filed everything else at the same time.
Yes.
Okay.
Because we're confused because a lot of people say you just go for 485, but some of them said that go first to the I-130. I don't know.
Some people don't know what you're talking about. So,
Mhm.
and this is bless their heart. I mean, they're just trying to help. But then they like some people give information, but don't go in full detail, right? So,
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to make this a whole webinar, but basically, and those are the two main forms. But there's a lot more forms than that. Maybe you know that. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, the I-130 is to establish the proof of relationship, and then the 485. Okay. I-130 is this. 485 is this. 485 is
Okay.
more about, like, even at the interview, when they ask a question like, oh, how did you meet? That's usually, they're going to be asking you, the US citizen. Whereas this one, the 485 form, they're going to ask your spouse, the immigrant beneficiary. And it's
Mhm.
more about like the security type questions, the criminal background. Do you have a removal case against you? These are all things they
Mhm.
know. They're just asking you during an interview or your spouse to make sure you're telling the truth. Okay, so it's kind of like a trick in a way. But like crimes, misrepresentation, lie to the government and for any reason, that's for the 485. Okay, so
Okay.
yeah, you can file both at the same time based on your spouse's facts.
One more thing. Should we? Because right now we have a financial, you know,
Uh-huh.
because right now is not the financial is
Budget.
not at a good state right now,
Okay.
but we can file for I-130, or should we? Is it okay to wait for the I-130 to be approved before we file the 485? Or
You could, but it's really just better to get it all done at the same time.
I see. It's the best way.
It's the best way because I-130. I think so, yo. I am dropping gems all day on these live shows, almost every day, right? So here's another one. I don't know if you can write it down, but it's more just okay. So when you file petition only, I'll share on my screen if I can. When you file petition only, it's gonna get on this track. That's a potentially 17-month track. That's a waste of time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
When you file everything together, it won't be this amount of time.
I see. So there's
One.
a real big difference.
It's a huge difference. Like the case I just had yesterday for interview in Houston, we filed that case late April. And it's 2 months later. They got the work permit last month. That is rare, but the cases filed this year under Trump administration are actually quicker than, if anything, just as quick as Biden administration. It's just a little bit done differently because the federal workforce is required to work at the office, not from home. So that's one reason. But so anyway, I do recommend to save up. Otherwise, you could be potentially wasting another year to two by doing it the way you're doing it based on income or based on saving up. So if you got to eat a little bit more ramen, I'm sorry, but you might have to do that so that you can afford the fees. Okay. All right. Follow and ask questions in the future. All right.
Yes,
take
thank
care.
you.
You're welcome. Okay. All right. So Humaira, I don't know what you mean. Can I also check inquire date what's running? No, I can't do that. I gotta I gotta roll with these questions. Okay. You gotta look. I mean, I don't mind doing certain things like that from time to time, but you gotta, at some point, you gotta engage with our services for us to do things like that. Ayala Corona. You have a question on House Bill 875 on DUI. Would it be retroactive to pass DUI? Oh snap! I mean, so usually I haven't been familiar with this one. When I had more time, I looked at bills more often. So let me write that one down. Usually it's supposed to be not retroactive. Those assholes. How many lawyers are in fucking Congress and they don't pay attention to stuff like that? You know, it's annoying. I really hope it's not retroactive. So if y'all on TikTok watching, please follow me on YouTube as well. Sometimes it's easier format. I'm just always a little concerned with TikTok. You know, we got used to like the short format that y'all just flipping through, but YouTube is usually for the longer format. And when I talk about proposals, bills, I usually post it on YouTube. Sorry, TikTokers. So, oh yeah, Stelly. Yeah, good call. So for especially people that don't have the funds for an attorney, I get it. Everyone's got a different budget. So Stelly recommended me to share with you to Tin Claudio. I'll give you a quick rundown. Everyone's situation different, but here's a quick rundown. You talked about the I-130, the 485. Okay, that's for adjustment of status. 485 for residency. Okay. 131 is not required to file, but recommended if you want to potentially travel. No one's saying you can't leave the United States, but you want to be able to come back, right? Your spouse, Tin Claudio, for example. And then the 765 is not required, but there's also a fee for that. I think $260. Okay. It used to be included, but it's not. And then also the 864. 864 is required. Okay. Now, Tin Claudio, I don't know if you need a joint sponsor or not, but based on what you're saying, it might sound like you might need a joint sponsor. So in a joint sponsor, this is going to the next level of guidance. I cannot say this is legal advice. You can read between the lines. You need to look up Google search 864P. It will show you a chart, okay, based on the number of people in your household. And then what else? Stella, you're making me share all this information. I'm not trying to remember. A64 is required. Some people think it's not required, but it is. I've even heard of at least one case that some other attorney filed, and that person came to us as a client, and that other attorney did not file the A64. Oh boy. Just some things. Some things are so standard that the attorney should have known. Okay, so anyway, and by the way, Tin Claudio or anyone's going through something like this, for people who enter with a visa, we call it concurrent filing, and that person never left, then you need the medical exam. And I highly recommend getting the medical exam, the results in a sealed envelope. That part is required, but refiling it, the results, the envelope, the sealed envelope with the entire package together. Okay. That make it so much easier for the USCIS. We want to make the job of USCIS as easy as possible so that you get your legal status. All right, Stelly, thanks for that recommendation. Share that. What is my phone number? Zorro. My phone number is, let me pick the other picture. That might be easier to see. This one might be easier. Oh, that's weird. Why does it do like that? Okay, there we go. Couple more people want us to join as a guest. I see 4 of y'all, but I do have some comments on YouTube real quick. And today's Thursday. Let me check my schedule. What I got next? Okay, I can be here for another 5. I'll see if I can stretch it 10 minutes, but at least 5 minutes. Okay, so on YouTube, DOS345 asked, Does a citizen applying AOS for parents, visa overstay, no criminal record? I don't know why you put that in quotations. Do you mean because maybe you have traffic tickets? Traffic tickets no big deal, but the thing is, you do want to share that with the officer because technically the question says, have you had any arrests, convictions, citations? And citation is a traffic ticket essentially. So any advice or common mistakes filing forms on your own? Oh, well, I actually just shared that advice. I guess another practical advice is don't staple it. Don't put rubber band. No, don't do any of that. Okay? Don't staple. Don't 3-hole punch. Like it's not necessary. Because in the mail room, when you mail the package to USCIS, you want to make it easy for the mail clerk. Okay? Because they got to take that shit apart and scan it all. Okay? There's actually literally a memo about it from a couple years ago. Oh yeah, another tip. Stelly reminded me to share with there's a form to that you can get like electronic notification to show that you indicated that you can receive acknowledgement that they received your package. Yeah, I recommend doing G1145, I believe. G1145. Let me see real quick. All these forms. Yeah, G1145 is it right there. And then, yes, if you have a scanner, scan everything, save a copy for yourself. That's what we do for our team. Because you never know. They might send you RFE, and I had one time in my career, at least, I can remember, that they sent us RFE as a copy of the visa. And we're like, what the? And we look at our scanned copy, we're like, yeah, we sent that already. You know, in my cover letter, I'm like, we effing provided to you already. No, I'm professional about it. But we do let them know. Although we provided originally in the package, here's an extra copy for you, officer. So it's peace of mind for yourself. You're like, did you? Because some of y'all you're stuck in your mindset. Like, did I provide it or not? Like, doesn't fucking matter at this point. Just give it to them. Okay. Don't get stuck. Fonz. So anyway, DOS, of course, there's just a lot of advice that we can provide, but I mean, if you want all of it, then you might as well hire us. Which, by the way, I should share real quick. We do offer services. So if you need our help, these are a couple different meeting options. Sorry, the way it's arranged on my platform here. There we go. Anyway, you see those options. If you schedule during the live show and you're interested in our services, go ahead and schedule for request a pre-qualified services. If you're busy right now, you can't phone in or call in, that's okay. Text in right now. And then, because you can see the number on the screen, and then my team knows to offer you that lower reduced option, okay, of that amount. Less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks. YBI, yes, we do offer payment plans. We do, okay. Let's see what else. Okay. Questions. Fonz. Is there a time frame threshold I look at when considering mandamus for delay 45 for EB2 NIW? At least 15 months minimum. But yeah, depending on the situation, we might wait a little longer, but at least 15 months. For some, we do a quality control to see if you have, I guess you could say, like the basic requirements met, especially NIW. NIW, and as you know, NIW is extensive, but we do want to make sure because, you know, just an example for like a marriage case. Oh my God. For the love of God. With my magic wand, I wish I could just automatically tell all of y'all to get more marriage evidence than just a marriage certificate. Yes, some people have asked me if that was enough. And we just wish that USCIS officer would just agree, but that's not true. There's a lot more evidence than that, okay? And pictures are not enough either. Hardman Lee, thanks for the follow on IG and looks like YouTube as well. Let me make sure that okay, sorry, I missed a couple other questions up here. Yes, Ayala Corona. Yes, follow me on YouTube and HR 875. I wrote that down. Let me put a big star next to that one, okay? Let me review that. Today's Thursday. Can you give me to Monday at least? Because I need my marketing team to polish it up, make sure I got makeup and all that stuff. But I want to review it first to understand it, and then. But I know your concerns about retroactive, so let me put that retroactive question mark. You don't want to see my piece of paper. It's got a long list of videos. Request. Thank you so much. Maria Lacerda. Can people with reopened cases from the removal proceedings and with bona fide letter and work permit can be deported? Okay, so I think you're probably referring to Maria just asked a question. Let me, if I can rephrase or share some context here. Even our office, we received 2 motion to recalendar from Department of Homeland Security on 2 cases. One of them, I wasn't even the lead attorney, right? So I wasn't even the lead attorney. So of course I got to find all the contact information from the past. These cases were administratively closed in the court from like about almost 10 years ago. 10 años. It's crazy. The Department of Homeland Security is trying to get these cases recalendared to the court, meaning move it to the active mode. Okay? So you have 10 days or less to contest, to file a response, to say, like, this doesn't need to be recalendared. It's inevitable that it's going to get recalendared. But what you can do next is file a motion to dismiss. And no, you do not need to wait until the court hearing. Sorry, you might think I'm a little dramatic, and I don't mean to be dramatic, but if anything, please take this as a way to understand that you need to take action. Okay. So if you find out about this and you don't have a lawyer yet, or your lawyer finds out and they tell you, please ask them, what is a strategy? Now, you don't have to say, well, John on TikTok or YouTube said this, because I'm in some message boards with attorneys, and they're like, "Oh, this person told me that they found out on TikTok." I'm like, "Oh my god, it's just another platform, okay? It just happens to be a platform that's easy to share information." But please know, I'm kind of with them though, even though I'm on TikTok and all these other social media channels. You do want to verify that the information you receive is actually from a lawyer. So even though, of course, I do put ATTY here on TikTok, and I put my law firm name here, I put my phone number here, and you can verify if you Google search. But whoever you're listening from, even if you're here on the channel right now, which, by the way, if you've been here for at least a minute, go ahead and follow, subscribe, click the plus sign, and click the bell for future notification when I go live, because you never know when I go live. I mean, I'm trying to be consistent, but like yesterday, my interview was around lunchtime, so I couldn't go live during the day. But what's it called? There are some people on these social media channels that's not even an attorney, and I would think that the people who are who are an attorney, but they don't put you also just want to be careful in the sense that if you're going to spend mucho dinero on a lawyer, an immigration lawyer, you might as well hire one that focuses on immigration law. Just a thought, like, I don't know. I'm not gonna go to an auto shop that only handles car oil changes and say, "Hey, bro, can you handle this other thing? Can you repair my engine?" Right? Like, I'm not gonna go to a plumber and say, "Hey, can you put some shelves on my, do some remodeling in my house?" Like, it just doesn't, like. There's just so many. You can tell from hopefully you can tell from my channel here on my show that there's a lot of nuances. Okay, so anyways, just some food for thought. All right, now let's get to. You're welcome, DOS. Let's see. And I know a second ago I was talking about motion to dismiss. Not everyone has a solid opportunity to file a motion to dismiss. Now, everyone can file one, but that doesn't mean that's a good idea. So you do need to have evidence, appropriate evidence, to try to get that case dismissed. And no, that's not an easy button either, unfortunately. Stephanie Reyes, do you need to do a biometric appointment before they approve your I-130? If you only filed I-130, maybe because you're not eligible to file the 485, then I-130 only does not have biometrics, okay, requirement. Because usually biometric is for the 765 or the 485. But if you had a case in, like you have a court removal case, immigration court case, then I believe, yes, they have biometrics. Okay, so yeah, you have biometrics. So it just depends. So many scenarios. Okay. Coda, you recently joined the Army. Congratulations, Coda. Thank you for your service. You're a permanent resident. You're currently separated from your spouse, but not legally divorced. Sorry to hear about that situation. Sounds like a difficult time. As you say, you're under stress and concerns me you remarry without a legal divorce. Should you start the divorce process now or wait until basic training and applying for citizenship? Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. So you might want to check Coda, email us. I believe we have a complimentary guide about military, okay? Military personnel, military veterans, because there is an option to get expedited naturalization because of military service, not because of your spouse. So you might want to say sayonara to your Pookie Bear, your ex-Pookie Bear. In all 50 states of America, in some way, it's fortunate. Well, not some way. I think it's fortunate that it's called no-fault divorce. That you don't need a legal reason to divorce. You don't even have to say that you don't like their hair color anymore, or something. I don't know. Just trying to be politically correct, I guess. DOS. You're a college student, and your aunt will be a joint sponsor. Is it okay if she lives in a different state? Your aunt? Oh, yeah. So your joint sponsor can live anywhere in America, okay? Doesn't even have to be a family member. It could be someone random. You don't have to have any connection to that person. But of course, they hopefully would trust you and all that. All right, we got a couple people that want to join as a guest. Thanks so much for your patience. Okay, I was trying to get Zishan. I guess it didn't work earlier. Zishan, and the person with a couple dots, and then Navi. In that order.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good. So I have a question. So around August 2024, I applied for my spouse I-130, and now it is showing that it is 3 months left. At that time, when I applied, I was green card holder, and I also applied for my citizenship as well. And I have 2 kids, minor kids, age 4 and 3. So I haven't applied for them at that time. They were dependent on her I-130. So now I got the citizenship, I think in April 7th. And after that, I applied for my kids on April 23, 2025. So now my question is, my kids' petitions are saying that it will take around 18 months. But my spouse petition says that it will be completed around in 3 months.
Let's take a step back. Let's pause there.
Mm-hmm.
Pause there.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I'm about to share with you might confuse you, but it should clarify, because otherwise you're going to share too much information that's not necessary. Okay, what you see on your online account, ignore it. Specific to expected decision in 3 weeks, 3 months. It's all false. It's all false. Okay, I hate to say. What's important for me to help you? When did you file the petition? Which month and year?
For the kids, I have applied April 23, 2025. For spouse, I have applied in August 2024.
Okay, and it sounds like you're the U.S. citizen or resident.
Yeah, I recently become US citizen in April 2025.
Okay, great. So I'm glad you filed for your kid as well, right? Because you had to. You became a citizen. It forces that. And then what else?
So the
So
question is there any way to expedite the kids because they cannot live there alone? If my spouse petition was approved and then I applied for NVC, she cannot come until the kids petition is approved. So is there any way that the kids petition can be expedited along with the wife so that they can come together?
no, that's not how it works. Sorry. There is an expedite request option, but your reasoning by itself, unfortunately, is not enough. Is not sufficient. Okay. Yeah. You still there?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, it was a little awkward there. I could say a lot more, but that's really that's really more for like a strategy session.
So basically, I just delay my spouse petition.
No. Do not delay anything. The government already delays people. Don't delay it further.
Okay, so my concern is, so for example, if my spouse got the green card earlier,
Okay.
we have 6 months that she can stay outside of the country. So she have to come here before that. So the kid will, my minor children will stay there. How they can stay there?
I don't know. Do you have other family member help?
That is the issue. Yeah, the family members are there, but it will be difficult for kids.
You gotta make it work. You gotta have that tough discussion with them. Look, expedite request is possible. It's possible when there's like medical issues, things like that. Of course, God forbid, there's no medical issues. But just to tell them, oh, we're family's gonna be separate, that's not enough for them. I'm just gonna be, I mean, I feel bad, but that's just not enough. Okay, so
Okay.
I mean,
Thank
yeah,
you.
you might not like my answer, but that's just, it is what it is right now about that for now. Okay. It's too early. Also, you're still at the petition stage. You got a long ways to go, buddy. So you got 17 months. Okay. Let's look here. Your petition and you're a citizen, 17 months on, this is a spectrum. It's a long game. Okay. So in that sense, so here's the thing. If y'all want a little bit more structured timing, you got to join my, think about another option. Y'all are so focused on family-based. The best option that's not family-based is the L visa. In America, it's very easy to start a business. In Texas, the state of Texas, even though I don't like Texas, I think we all know why, Governor Hot Wheels. But, you know, it's very easy to start a business in Texas. It's $308, the state fee. Okay. But this is what I'm talking about, L visa. But I don't know how difficult it is to start a company in another country. An L visa can include the spouse and children. Okay. All at the same time, just to get that the family in America. All right. So I talk more about that in the webinar. So you can click on my link or profile, wherever it is up top on TikTok at least, and click on register for webinars. It's free. Okay. I just don't have the time to talk all about that in the live show. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care. Navi, what's up? Let's get you on. And sorry, y'all. By the way, I know I might sum off like a little rude. It's just, I don't mean to be. It's just, I'm trying to answer y'all's questions rapid fire. What's up, Navi? Let me see.
Hi. I did speak to you before about my case.
Sure, welcome back.
Enter without inspection, asylum is pending, married to U.S. citizen, file I-130. I-130 got approved. Then lawyer file a motion to administration closure so I can have my work permit renew.
Mm-hmm.
Then file a 601A waiver. The waiver approved. Then send to all the document to NVC. I receive a email that I'm a documentary qualified. It's been like 4 or 5 months now. So about termination, about my asylum, he said we must wait a little while because once the judge sets your individual hearing, I'm gonna have only 4 months to leave the country. So is this something he's right? I mean, why should I have to leave the country once he terminated my case?
Okay, so there could be first of all, do you have a lawyer for the court case?
Yeah. That's why he said we should wait a little while because when your case gonna be termination, you're gonna have judge gonna give you only 4 months to leave the country, which is voluntary, whatever he's saying. Just want to know, like, if I'm on the right track.
No, it does not sound like you're on the right track. There sounds like confusion. I don't know who. It sounds like your attorney did not share properly. Clarification here, and I'm always happy to share, clarify for y'all. I had to fix it up for your own attorney. Okay, here we go. Voluntary departure is not the same thing as what attorneys call dismissing a case. It is a final. It's like an outcome of a case, but what's it called? Yeah, voluntary departure is reference to up to 120 days to stay in America, and then you got to go before 120 days. Did the order get signed already?
No. He said we must wait because India is taking like a year to interview, to schedule for IR1 visa. He said when we kind of close, then we file it, then file for termination. Then we'll ask judge that we having a interview coming, and he'll give us a 4 months to leave the country. Voluntary departure.
Well, do you have an application on file? Like, do you have any application? I'm sorry if I missed that part. I thought you did.
Yeah, asylum, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Which is in administration closure right now.
Oh, right now. Okay, you're preparing for the future. Okay, got it. Your attorney's trying to prepare for the future for you. Okay, that's good. Yeah, there are some times when attorneys or just people in general, you have the final trial for the asylum here in the hearing, and then at the end the judge could say something like, yeah, it's not strong enough claim, unfortunately, based on the law, so they allow you opportunity to withdraw your application and then give you voluntary departure. It's actually, I think, kind for them to do that instead of denying someone straight, because if you deny someone straight, then it just goes straight to order removal, and then you don't have the extra days of up to 120 days in America. So
if I go to my NVC interview in the future, that should not be a problem, right? Because judge give me 120 days to voluntary, and I go back home country.
That's two separate situations. That they don't like. One thing in court doesn't mean like you get leeway on something else. It's two different situations. When you get and you're saying NVC because you have a petition on file by someone, a spouse, or what?
Yeah. NVC, I'm a documentary qualified right now. It's been like 6 months. So for IR1 visa to marry to a U.S. citizen.
Okay. Yeah. IR.
So that's what
okay. Okay. Now that sorry, and I apologize. You may have said that to me a few minutes ago about your spouse. There's just so many things in my head. Sorry. So even if when we have clients that don't have asylum pending, then we will request dismissal. Or right now, is your petition approved? Is that done yet? Yes.
I-130 and 601A waiver. Yes.
601A is already approved?
Yes.
Okay, great. Then ask your attorney if they can file a motion to dismiss. A recalendar and dismiss, yes.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said we can go with it, but he said once we file it, the Ohio court says fast, they're probably going to give us a court date fast. And when we go for that court hearing, and we tell the judge, hey, we have an NVC document you qualified, and he's going to terminate your case. He said, but after the termination, you're going to have a 4-month. Either your interview schedule or not, you're going to have to leave the country.
Yeah, I mean, that's possible, but they could also just dismiss it since you have 601A approved. Just provide a copy of your approval letters, notices, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Navi.
Thank you.
Okay, bye. All right. Thank you, Relic, for the news. Thank you, everyone asking questions. I have to wrap. By the way, thank you on YouTube. Come on, y'all. This whole time, my face was blocked. I just figured it out. Thank you. Thank you to Tony. Bro, you're supposed to tell me that earlier. Thomas, thank you so much for telling me. I've been doing this for a couple months like this on YouTube. My face was blocked. That's okay. You know what it looked like. I gotta wrap, y'all. I gotta eat some lunch. Lunch. Who needs to eat? Just eat apples. Okay. Apple a day keeps the doctor away, right? Maybe? That's why I gotta tell my kids. Okay, so there was something else I wanted to say. Ask. Relic, thanks for your help. You said Supreme Court will be ruling tomorrow? Snap, I gotta be ready for that. SCOTUS. Yep, it's June. End of June is the month they issue out decisions. Okay. Relic, is there a specific one that I should be watching out for? I feel like there's always I feel like at least 1/4 of the docket for SCOTUS is about immigration and LGBT, and it's like it used to be only it seemed only about higher education. Now it's birthright. Yeah, that is a big deal. This is gonna be, I hate to be dramatic, but SCOTUS decisions are usually pretty, monumental, to say the least. Significant. So I guess I should record a video about that too. All right, y'all. Okay, one more person, because I told her that I'll get her on. The one with the 4 little dots there. And then sorry for everyone else who wants to join live. Please join the next time I go live.
Hi.
What's going on? How can I help you?
I recently got a DWI case a month ago, and I was already planning to file. So I don't know where that does leave me. Are they gonna reject my filing or?
I'm sorry. Do you have what did you file? What application?
Oh, I said I recently got a DWI.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that.
I was planning to file for green card through marriage.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Since it's something new, does that prevent me from filing or what?
No, it doesn't, fortunately. But you should have an attorney to help you with this. Okay, from start to have you filed anything yet?
Not yet, because I kind of contacted some attorneys around. They've been saying that, it's not gonna work. You need to wait for a year until the case is closed.
Yeah, I mean, typically they want to see that the case has been resolved. You just got it last month. Now with the Trump administration, Cheeto's administration, it's taken about, average 4 to 6 months. So it's fairly quick compared to the past. So if you're going to spend money right now on any attorney, it's more of the criminal defense attorney. But you don't necessarily have to wait a full year. It just kind of depends. And usually criminal cases tend to drag out. So see if there's a way that this criminal defense attorney can help you get this a little bit more expedited. If it's in your best interest, of course.
Okay, so because I got a public defense, the court asked me if I can afford a lawyer or not.
Yeah.
So a public defense cannot help me.
They can, but we public defenders are great attorneys. Okay, they have the heart. Okay, let's say that. But private defense attorneys have a little bit more luxury of time to investigate further for you, to have meetings. Like it's like I'm having mini short meetings with each of y'all right here, right? So to have that time, because like every story I hear about public defender, again, bless the hearts of all these public defenders, they try their best, but they have limited capacity. So I mean, see what the public defender, what advice they have, but usually they'll just go straight to say, okay, sign this plea deal, because they don't understand. Some don't understand the situation about immigration. So ideally, you get a reduced charge or dismissed. Okay, that's okay. We don't mind hearing babies. Minor. At least I don't. I don't mind. Okay, so hopefully that leaves you with some food for thought. I know everyone has a different budget, but yeah, maybe talk to that public defender, see what they suggest. Now, the thing is, y'all, whoever has a criminal case that's active, you want to be proactive to share information that could be helpful for the case, because some people, you get like in a mindset, like it's stuck. You don't want to share information. Not that you don't want to, you just don't want to think about it anymore. But if you want any attorney, public defender or not, or private attorney, it's in your best interest to share information. Okay, it's attorney-client privilege. It's confidential anyway. All right, that's the minimum one thing we learned in law school. Okay, I hope you heard all that, because you're muted now. All right, y'all. Thanks so much. If you haven't done it already, you've been here for at least 60 seconds, you know what to do now. Subscribe, follow, and click the bell on your platform so you get the notification when I go live next time. Relic, thank you for following me on LinkedIn. If anyone's on a LinkedIn profile, I'm trying to get my engagement up, by the way. So if you don't mind, just commenting. Hey, what's up, buddy? All right. Y'all have a good one. Thank you so much. Keep ICE away? Yes, absolutely. Smash that like button and be ready. Be ready. We're going to put a poll out there about our t-shirts that are related to protecting our rights and ICE and all that for donation. Net proceeds will go to nonprofits. Peace.